So King Charles said he was disappointed not to go to Birmingham. Being a Brummie, I can understand that. He'd be very disappointed not to go to Birmingham. But look, there's a lot of openness here, isn't there, from Buckingham Palace? And I feel like that's part of the sort of the new royals, in a way, to be a bit more open and to tell people what they can.
Yes, look, we got this statement from Buckingham Palace last night, and as soon as you see this strictly confidential and embargoed statement coming through, given the past year, you think, goodness, what's happened now?
Yeah.
Two different headlines there. Hospital drama, minor bump in the road. Buckingham Palace very keen to stress it's more on the latter. It is a minor bump in the road. He underwent regular treatment for his cancer yesterday morning, scheduled treatment. After that, he suffered what had been described as temporary side effects, and that required a visit to hospital. He went back to the London clinic where he'd initially been treated in January of last year. He travelled by car. There wasn't any kind of emergency services involvement in it. He went on his own without Queen Camilla. And he was back at home at Clarence House yesterday evening going through his red boxes and his state papers. So Buckingham Palace keen to stress this is to be expected, given what he's going through, that it was a minor bump in a road that is heading in the right direction.
You can imagine for him, I mean, he does get frustrated when he can't work, doesn't he, when he can't carry out the duties that he wants to. But obviously he's following medical advice on this one, but he'll be keen to get back as soon as he can, won't he?
He really will, and that's right, Charlotte, because yesterday he had to cancel meetings with ambassadors. Today he had a full programme of engagements in Birmingham, due to visit the city's Royal Ballet. He was also, ironically, meant to be at a hospital in Birmingham today, and he will know just how much work goes into those engagements, and for everyone involved in Birmingham, that this is a big disappointment. They're hoping to reschedule them. As for next week, at this stage, it looks like that will carry on as planned. They've also got a royal tour of Italy coming up between the 7th and 10th of April. No change to that at this stage.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Who wouldn't want to go to Italy?
Yes, exactly. And it's their 20th wedding anniversary to be spent in Rome.
It's a nice place to be to celebrate in that case, isn't it? But interesting, you know, people commenting Queen Camilla wasn't there. She was helping to celebrate ITV's 70th birthday, actually, yesterday at an event, wasn't she? But, I mean, if we think over the years, traditionally the sort of, you know, the royal partner wasn't necessarily there, were they? It was something, if someone was taken ill, they would just deal with it.
And Queen Camilla had pretty important engagements yesterday, didn't she?
Exactly.
She was on the set of Trigger Point. She was meeting Susanna and Lorraine at a reception for
She wouldn't
media.
have wanted to have missed that or anything.
No, absolutely not. Well, you don't miss a meeting with Susanna.
And it was a pretty brief visit to the London clinic. But as anyone who's known anyone or been through cancer themselves, there are side effects with the treatment. I think for us, it's just a reminder that actually he is still going through this. Since his diagnosis early last year, the treatment continues and it does take its toll.
And suffering the effects of it, which, you know, I think a lot of people who know others who've gone through cancer treatment, you know, our sympathies go out to him and to others in that situation. You wish him well.
And you do wonder that it's sort of what they've learnt from what happened with Kate. There was so much speculation with Kate because they didn't say very much, and that allowed people to come up with all sorts of conspiracies and all sorts of comments. I think they've probably thought, well, actually, let's not be in that situation.
I mean, they had to talk about it because they've had to cancel this day of engagements, but they have given information. They haven't talked about the specific side effects, but they have told us exactly what happened. And I think that is to avoid this vacuum of information into which conspiracy theories flourish.
OK. Sarah, thank you so much. We will be speaking to Chris Shipp, our correspondent, a bit later as well this morning, but we'll watch that space. But hopefully things feel like they're comfortable, but he's sort of doing his royal duty, isn't it, Salma, just to inform people, I think.
Well, I mean, it's very classic sort of stiff upper lip, isn't it, sort of carrying on whilst you're going through cancer treatment. And, you know, let's not forget, he's also in his 70s. So the fact that he's sort of carrying on, and you're right, he would have been very upset about not being able to make those engagements, so...
King Charles has cancelled his public engagements today on medical advice after experiencing temporary side effects during his ongoing cancer treatment.
The 76-year-old spent a brief time under observation in hospital yesterday after making an unscheduled visit. He later did return, though, to Clarence House. Our chief correspondent, Richard Gatesford, is outside Buckingham Palace. Richard, officials are describing this as a bump in the road in his treatment. But this is sort of a sign, isn't it, for the royal family? They want to be more transparent and tell people what they think they can tell them to avoid any sort of speculation and conspiracy theories.
That's certainly the case, Adil, and a good reminder to all of us that despite his positivity and energy and determination to get on with the job, the King is still undergoing some significant cancer treatment and has been for the last year since diagnosis. He was busy here at Buckingham Palace on Wednesday this week, hosting a reception. It's been an incredibly busy fortnight of engagements for him, but all of the time he's mixing that formal role with this cancer treatment, and it appears yesterday had something of an adverse reaction that left Buckingham Palace having to issue this statement in which they said, following scheduled and ongoing medical treatment for cancer, the King experienced temporary side effects that required a short period of observation in hospital. His Majesty has now returned to Clarence House, and as a precautionary measure, acting on medical advice, Friday's diary programme will also be rescheduled. So the King spending the night just down the mall from us here at Clarence House, his preferred residence, where we're told he has been looking through state papers, so keeping his eye very much on the ball, but won't be going to Birmingham today, which we're told is a disappointment to him, will be a disappointment for all those people that were going to be part of what was really scheduled to be a very busy day of events there. The Queen also keeping busy, not with the King at hospital yesterday, but actually on the set of the ITV drama Trigger Point. She was visiting as part of ITV's 70th birthday celebrations, also meeting with some of our colleagues from ITV Daytime yesterday as well. The Queen and the King both due to head off to Italy in the coming weeks on a state visit. We're told that is still very much on, very much going to go ahead. And as you've said, what we're seeing at the moment is a small bump in the road on a journey that we're told is going in the right direction.
Richard, thanks very much for that. Well, Dr Amir Khan is with us now in the studio. Morning to you.
Morning.
Dr Amir. So we don't know the details of what cancer he's suffering from, the type of treatment he's having. Obviously, this has been done as a precaution. How unusual is this? I mean, I imagine his medical team have to be pretty cautious about how they deal with him.
They will. You know, any medical treatment is private, and he's chosen to keep his cancer diagnosis and the exact treatment he's having as private, quite rightly so. But what we do know is with any kind of cancer treatment, side effects are common, and they can vary depending on the type of treatment he may be having. Immunotherapy, radio or chemotherapy have common side effects: nausea, vomiting, headaches, fatigue, increased risk of infections. Sometimes that needs hospital treatment. Most of the time it can be managed at home with the right support. The key takeaway here is that the King is doing well. He's at home now, and he's receiving excellent care. His team will continue to monitor him, and I'm sure, you know, it wasn't that long ago that we saw him doing well and touring in Samoa. I'm sure he'll get back to his duties. I know you're disappointed he's not going to Birmingham.
Well,
Adil.
you know, yeah, I mean, I can see why he's disappointed as well, quite frankly. He'll be gutted by that, yeah.
No, fingers crossed he'll get well soon.
But he's sticking to his Italy plans in a week's time, I hear, so...
Where was that? Birmingham, Italy. Dr Amir, thank you very much. We wish him well, of course.